Welcome everybody back to the Divorce Show. I am your host, The Spoiler, and today we are blessed to have a special guest, and this is Miss J. She's going to give us an honest critique on the last video I dropped, and she's going to also give her views as she sees love, life, and relationships in the modern time. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh, definitely. And as you see, it's a very adult set, right? We get our little drink on, right?
Salud.
And we have intelligent conversation, right? And if this thing goes off the rails, you'll know because the video will get cut short. How about that? So we're here to have a good time, but we're also here to have very intelligent conversation about love, life, and relationships in the modern time. And I also have to do this as a disclaimer. Again, I'm not advocating that everybody should be divorced. I'm not advocating against marriage. What I'm trying to do is re-educate ourselves so that we have better relationships and healthier conversation with one another. So the Divorce Show title is a catchy title. It's meant to get you into the conversation. So anybody that wants to be part of the conversation, please feel free to contact me. You got my Facebook page at The Spoiler, and then the Divorce Show is one of the sub-pages to that. So feel free to chime in. So from there, let's talk about what you thought about the video that I dropped.
So your first video, I felt like your focus was really on the financial aspect of getting a divorce and how, you can be potentially ruined.
Sure.
If you aren't prepared financially. Obviously, there are different contracts.
Sure. Well, there's pitfalls that we don't really think about because we're in the warm, fuzzy feeling.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But I felt like that was really the focus of that's what I took away from the first video. There was a lot of focus on the potential for financial ruin if you aren't prepared. But I also feel like there are a lot of things that, can lead to divorce. How do we get to divorce? That was where I felt like there's so much more that can be said. And as you mentioned, love and relationships in modern time, and what does that mean to everyone? What does that mean now to have a relationship in modern times? You pointed out in your previous video that what we were taught, the mom, dad, the white picket fence, that has completely changed. It's very different now. But how has that changed, and how did we get here, and how do we navigate being in relationships now? So those are some things that I thought about, just because to me, there was so much more that could have been discussed, and I know you will as you continue on in your
It's
your
an
podcast.
ongoing thing,
Right.
I don't want to bore people with 2 hours of my job.
Exactly.
But even the landscape of dating has changed.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about dating
and
how things have changed just in dating.
Okay, so now when you talk about the landscape of dating, how can you hold on to a connotation of having a somewhat traditional relationship when everything you're doing, you're clicking a button?
That's true.
I know people that have gotten, and we all know somebody who met somebody online, maybe met this person once or twice, and then they got married. How the hell are you expecting a traditional relationship out of a click of a button?
But I think you can now, for those that do online date or, choose partners in that way, I think that you can get to know people via the internet,
Sure.
now again, you're taking a risk because you don't know what you're
Right.
really truly dealing with
Right.
until you meet that person and get to know them face to face. But you can develop a relationship with people, through social media, through email, whatever, those interactions. But I think
What?
the mistake is made when you, as you said, just base things on those email interactions or social media interactions and don't have that real face-to-face time getting to still
Sure.
know each other, and because I can present whatever I want
Exactly.
via
That's what the whole catfish thing is based
Right.
off of.
Exactly.
I can present whatever persona I want to. I can give you whatever pictures you want. I'm not knocking online dating. Just like I don't knock Facebook or anything like. I think those are good technology tools. My thing is that should you be expecting a traditional relationship out of a click of a button?
do people want traditional relationships though?
Yes, they do. That's why.
Why do you
they
say
search
that, though?
Because again, it becomes the connotation of miseducation, right? Most people want that traditional relationship where they date, and they get to know each other, they have sexual relationships, and then they and then they get married.
They have relations.
They have relations, and so it becomes that connotation that they do, and that's the falsehood of it. So now, when you're online dating, to me, your connotation shouldn't be about having that traditional relationship. Your connotation should be more focused on, I'm getting to know a person and just enjoying the times and the moment.
But I don't know that people, I mean, yes, there are some people that want a traditional relationship, but I also feel that there are some people who just, want to have a good time, want to
Right.
make connections with people, but aren't necessarily looking for the long term.
And that's why I don't knock it.
Right, and right, exactly.
Because
And
that's a great tool for that.
exactly.
Let's party for the night. You don't know me, I don't know you. Let's go.
You can't spend the night.
You gotta go.
You gotta be gone by 3:30.
Right. Because I don't know what kind of people you running with. That part.
Exactly.
And while we're making fun of it, no, not every experience is like that. Well, some are a little bit more longer term to that. So I exaggerate it that way. But again, I don't knock it. But I just think as a whole, we're looking for a little bit more out of it than what it is. Now, you have those services that you pay so this computer can analyze your answers and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so then they're promising you a match within this, that, and the other, blah, blah. Okay. Again, you're trusting a computer with the magical answers to give you a traditional mate.
But is there anything wrong with that?
There's
for
nothing-
those people that
there's
have
nothing wrong with
for
that.
those people that have found that, because there are people
Right.
that have found that person
Right.
and married that person, and who, at least for right now, say that they're happy.
I don't know those people. every computer story I've come across have been tragic. Not tragic, but it's not been the traditional thing. But yet they were looking for that traditional thing off a click of a button. And I don't know if they use one of these services or not. But I've talked to people and I'm like, okay, so where did you meet this person? So you see that meme. It all started with a Facebook.
But even if you aren't doing the the Facebook or the computer online type dating, anybody that you meet in the bar can present themselves however
That is correct.
however they want
That
you
is
to
correct.
see them, and you can be dating someone, dealing with someone, and not know that they're completely
Sure.
this man has a wife and kids that I had
Right.
no
Yeah.
clue about.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
That is true.
there are people, because I don't want to shine a light on men and say men do this and men do that. That's not my agenda. But there are people who will, have their traditional families and then have a whole another person set up in a different city and a completely different life they're living that no one knows anything about.
Sure, and that happens all the time. That's not out of the norm. Social media has made it probably easier because your communication is easier now. You're able to keep up with folks more. But now, my thing is that if you are single or seeking any kind of relationship in that form, should you be expecting a traditional type of relationship out of that?
I think you should be seeking what it is that you want. What is it, because what people see as traditional, that also is changing because now, individuals of the same sex, now that's traditional. Whereas that wasn't traditional, before.
So now
in the past. So I'm just saying, like, what is it that you are looking for when you are dating, and what is it that you're willing to put up with and agree with? Because some people are completely okay with, quote unquote, being the side piece or being the side chick, or side dude.
Right.
Some people are okay with that. That does
Shouts
not
out to all the side dudes. I'm just saying, they got to get some recognition.
Hey,
they got to get some love too.
Hey, everybody,
Right?
everybody needs love.
Side dudes, hey, yeah, I'm taking one for you. Okay? Here's to the side dudes.
Right.
So now the question becomes, is it really about just companionship?
Absolutely. Everybody needs companionship. You cannot everybody needs somebody, even though you want to say that you don't. You need that connection.
Some kind of interaction.
Whether it be, sexual or emotional, you need some kind of connection.
So what about the person
someone
that needs like 12 interactions?
No judgment. I mean,
well, but see now society dumps on that person. Whether it's male, female.
Right.
I'm being neutral, sex neutral here.
Right.
Whether it's male, female, gay, or whatever. Right. When you say no, I don't want necessarily a commitment with one person. I want multiple interactions and connections. And it's not, and this is where people get this shit fucked up. This is not always about sex.
Right. So to answer your question, I feel that you should do what makes you happy as a person. You should do. It doesn't matter. I can't walk in your shoes. I can't be you.
Yeah.
You need to do what makes you happy, but you also need to be honest with the people that you're dealing with. So if you know yourself and you know what, I can't be married. I know I'm not going to be able to commit to one person and be with that person for the duration. That is not me.
Sure.
I don't have that in me. Then do you.
Okay.
You do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. But I also think that you need to, whoever it is that you're dealing with, whatever situations you put yourself in, you need to let those individuals know what you're about and then it's up to them whether they choose to do that,
So I've got an upcoming video called The Love Triangle. So make sure you really get into this one.
It wasn't
and,
me.
And it's not about like I said, I'm into catchy titles. It's about the love triangle. And part of the love triangle that we go through as people is about dealing with our own emotions and where we travel in this love triangle, and about being honest about where you are at the time in this thing. And part of the failure of it, especially now, I'm going to get gender specific. Before I'm very neutral with it, now I get gender specific because males are raised to play a specific game, and they never mature because they're still playing this game from grade school, high school, right? And so when they become a quote unquote mature man, they're still playing this game. Whereas females are raised a particular way, and
I agree with that.
Once they mature, they're looking for something that these guys can't give them because one, they're not going to be honest about it, and two, they're raised a particular way. So now everybody has to have this communication and this talk, and I think this is where I'm trying to fill this gap in at.
Right.
Is that we all got this thing wrong.
Okay.
We got this thing wrong. So while I'm seeing these females being very lonely, right? And they say they're living their best life, but really their man is Jesus. And I'm not knocking religious folks. I'm not knocking religious folks, but really that's what it comes down to, because I'm telling you from what I'm seeing, from the person I'm seeing it from. When I'm seeing my dudes, they are not maturing.
Okay.
So why do I have a fucking 50-year-old dude wearing a fucking baseball hat to the side and still thinking that he's a player? No, dude, you're old. You know.
But he
Why?
can.
You can't tell him no different.
Right.
Dude, your dick don't even work no more. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because they do come to me some
Just-
Viagra.
So, you know, I'm just like, no, that's that game that's being played. So you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. And at the end of the day, it's that whole thing of miseducation. So now when we get older, now we got a ton of baggage. So now we all got this ton of baggage, and nobody's trusting nobody because there's a ton of baggage.
But what about those people that choose to live that life as far as, and I'm referring to, you know, I don't want to be married. Marriage is not for me. I want to be with whoever, whenever.
Oh, you talking about me? Oh, thank you.
I didn't know I was talking about you, but if I am,
okay, yeah.
If I am talking about you, then
you're
you know,
talking about
do
me.
your thing.
Yeah,
But
I can answer this one.
But how do you? At some point, you don't catch feelings for anybody. You don't.
No.
You don't.
It's not even
desire anything more
No.
with somebody. You don't want that. You know, coming home to that person that is, you know, is there for you, who's really gonna hold you down. Like you don't want that at any point.
Well, no, it's not that. Because if you look at my apartment now, it's a disaster area.
So you need somebody to
Really, my refrigerator.
Well, you could get a maid. You don't need a wife.
My refrigerator is bare. I really need some groceries.
You could go on the computer and have them deliver that. Though.
Once it goes
Spoiler, you don't need a wife.
Once it goes past that, it's like, no, it's here's my thing. I like meeting people, and if there's a connection there, I like to explore the connection as far as the adults say it goes. That is not about sex.
Okay.
And see, this is where the misconnotation is. The modern mature person should be beyond the whole sex thing. Because if that's the only issue that you have, then you have a problem that's other than that.
But a lot of people are making that sexual connection first, and then they're trying to figure out if there's anything else that we can connect. Is there another level that we can also connect on to make this work? You know what I mean?
The mistake that they're making is that they're equating sex with love.
Right.
And that's again, a
But you still
mistake.
haven't answered my question, though.
What? Which is what? I need my apartment cleaned up and I need some grocery shopping. Help me out.
Again, we already have that figured out. You can get a maid and you can,
Okay.
go on the computer,
All right.
click a couple buttons,
All right.
and they will deliver your groceries to you.
No, them-
all taken care
Hey,
of.
them motherfuckers will steal it out of my library, so I'm not worried about that. But
So my
the
question is,
the question is,
at any point, don't desire that one person that you are gonna be with, that traditional.
No.
You don't desire that at all.
No.
Is that because you're jaded
no,
in
it's,
regards to
no,
things
it-
that may have happened in the past,
no,
or
it's not because
you're
of my.
just sure that this is what you want in your life?
It's not because of my circumstances that have been tragic in the past with relationships. That's not it at all.
Is it you? Are you the problem?
I'm not the problem. how would I be the problem? I don't look at things in a. Here's the thing. As a mature man, I don't look at things
You
in a
should've
traditional
seen
way.
your face.
So I'm not the
I'm
problem.
not the problem.
I'm not the problem.
It's not me.
Well, here's the thing. I look at relationships differently.
Okay.
And therefore, because of who I am as a person, right, and my understanding, and really, as the old saying says, you have to know thyself.
Mm-hmm.
So I know myself very well. And when I'm any relationship, even if it's a friendship, that's a relationship.
Right, absolutely.
Right? And when you spend that one-on-one time with each other, again, enjoy the moment. I don't look to have that one-to-one come home and this, that, and the other. That's just not me.
Okay, so it's fair to say then that because, you've had marriages, relationships before, and as you said, now you really know who you are as a man, know what you want,
Okay.
and realize that marriage is not what
my
you
thing.
want. Okay.
Not my thing.
Okay, fair enough.
And so then people go, well, what about the commitment part? I'm like, okay, again, I don't have a traditional thought process. So when you come into a person like me who has no traditional thought process to it, yeah, I know what that is. I've been there. But now, moving forward, that ain't my thing. I'm leaving that in the dust. Right?
Okay.
And for those that want to rock with that, well, power to you. Right? I'm not coming to your wedding.
You're not going to come to my wedding?
Fuck, I'm not coming to nobody. Don't nobody out there try to invite me to no
Really?
fucking wedding.
Even the
period.
reception,
I-
just to the
I
party,
ain't
just to
even-
dance. And
Unless you got free Jack Daniels, I am
of
not
course it's going to
coming.
be free. Of course.
Okay, I might show up then at the reception.
At the reception, you got to at least
I
come and
might-
throw one back with me.
I might do that. I might do that.
Just,
But I will not.
you're not going to sit in the church
I'm not going to
and watch me walk down the aisle?
No. No. No relatives. No. So my family, if you get married in near future, I will
Wow.
not be there because I'll be there talking you out of that shit. Not that I'm against marriage.
Wow. But clearly you are, though.
No, I'm not.
So-
I've been told that. No, I'm not. I'm about. If you tell me you took care of the business first,
Do you mean business as in...
if you took care of the business along with the warm fuzzy feelings, then you may have my ear.
Well, what do you consider the business and the warm, fuzzy feelings?
We're into this notion that marriage is forever, and it's not. It's not.
Marriage can be forever.
It can be.
It can be
It
if
can
you're
be.
willing to put in the work. And okay, and you also have to know what are your deal breakers. Do you within yourself know what are the things that you absolutely are not going to put up with? For me, I mean, I'm going to get personal just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I can handle maybe having some downs in our finances because I know that's not always forever.
Sure.
Right? I honestly can say I can handle infidelity, because
Okay.
people make mistakes, and we
Sure.
can work through that.
Right.
We can really work through that.
Okay.
I can handle illness.
Okay.
Because I know how to deal with that. So
Right.
I feel like within myself, I know what I'm willing to put up with. But
What's your deal breaker?
my deal breaker?
I'll tell you what my deal breaker is.
Okay. My deal breaker is not being the queen. And when I say the queen, I mean I want to know that. Now listen, my man can look at other women. He can admire other women, because I admire other women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can be like, wow, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous. But I need to know that you're coming home to me. You love me. You honor me. You respect me. You treat me as if I'm the only one that matters. Now, mind you, I understand that people make mistakes and things happen, and you may have done some things that hurt me, but if we still agree that we're going to work on this together, then we can work on this together.
I got that. That makes sense. That makes total
Is
sense.
that fair?
That's fair.
Does that
enough.
make sense?
Well, it's not. It doesn't.
And that's for me. That's for me.
right,
I'm talking
that-
about me. I'm
that's
not
her
talking
thing.
about y'all.
Right.
Y'all do what you want to do.
Right. So my deal breaker is that goddamn contract.
See, there you are, back to the. It's over there.
That's my deal breaker.
Okay, so
Because I don't need the fucking contract. If I commit to you and say, hey, it's me and you, we running this thing. We're doing
Okay.
this thing. I don't need the fucking state to dictate any terms to me.
Okay,
That's
I
my
understand
deal
that.
breaker. But that's my deal breaker because now I explore this topic and I do this thing.
Right.
So as I am as a modern male, that's my deal breaker. I don't need that shit. Right?
Okay.
If I'm rolling with you, I'm rolling with you. Now, I understand that most females do not get what I'm talking about that. I get it. So now, back to your original question, do you want that one-to-one desire and all this other stuff?
you already told me you just need somebody to clean your house and
I
wash your socks.
I really
That's all
don't.
you.
I love the companionship of females and this, that, and the other, and that's not to slight the gay folks, but
No, we're talking about
right, just in
us.
general.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's all cool, but as I am right now, I'm a very damaged human being. So it'd be very unfair for me to have that type of commitment
Or try to.
or try to, knowing that I'm a very damaged human being.
Okay. That's.
And so that's part of
That's
knowing
real.
yourself. And while it's not for them to get, it's for me to understand who I am as a person.
So I think, just circling back though, I think we've said, a lot of things that lead to, the failure of marriage or failure of the traditional marriage. People not knowing themselves, expectations that are unrealistic, really not being ready, as you said, men being raised in a certain way, going for certain things, and women being raised in a completely different way and what their expectations are for relationships. So again, it's much more than the contract as far as why
Right.
we fail.
And I've had this conversation with a number of ladies about just relationship in general. And so their thing is, what is the answer? I said, really, the answer is
What
that,
you want to do for yourself. That's what the answer is. It's about what you want
well, that's
as
for
an individual.
that's for those of us at this stage of it. But from the beginning end of it, it takes raising a male to be very honest
Oh, absolutely.
and understanding that he's not mature enough to even entertain that thing.
But I also think as women, we need to. A man is going to tell you what he is and what he's about by his actions.
Sure.
Okay?
Your actions always there. Yeah.
And I shouldn't say again, man. People are going to tell
Right.
you who they are and what they're
That's
about
the
by their
basic thing.
actions.
I can
so
talk
if a
all
man,
day.
Exactly. So if a man tells you, man, I don't want to get married. I don't want this. I don't want that. Don't try and change him. Let him be who he is. That's the man that you date and you have fun with and you go out and kick it. But don't try and weasel him into marrying you because he's already told you that's not what he wants.
Part of my thing is getting us to just enjoy the moment.
Just enjoy each other. I agree with that.
Just enjoy the moment. Okay, 3 dates in. Okay, I've been kind of wondering where this is going. This is going to McDonald's to get a quarter pounder because they fry them fresh now.
Did you say McDonald's?
Yeah.
That's where
That's
where we going on our date. Really, spoiler. That's why you don't have anybody to clean it. That's why you don't have anybody to clean it.
I'm like, this is going to McDonald's.
We not going to no McDonald's.
They got quarter pounders.
We damn near
fresh.
50. We damn near 50. We not going to no
They're
McDonald's.
frying them fresh again.
No.
So
can you at least take me to the Cheesecake Factory? Can we at least go to some nice sit down place?
Well, I'll do that.
Can we go to Red Lobster at least? I don't even like Red Lobster.
As long
can we go there?
As long as you don't ask me where we're going.
That's fine, but can I?
But when you ask me, I was kind of wondering where we're going.
We're
going to McDonald's.
Can we put some heels on? Can I put some heels? I'm not wearing heels at McDonald's.
Oh, sexy heels and get. Oh, me so horny. We love you long time. You're not that far in to be asking me where this is going. You already know where I stand.
You can't start at McDonald's though.
Yes, I can.
You can take me to McDonald's we can go for coffee in the morning to McDonald's, but
See, when you ask me where the relationship is going,
okay,
the relationship is going to McDonald's. Stop asking me that shit because you already know where the fucking relationship is going. Enjoy the goddamn moment, and maybe we can go get a steak.
I can't enjoy McDonald's.
Well, but see, if you don't ask me that, we go get a steak. Right? I'll get me some grilled asparagus and some steamed broccoli right.
I can't stand.
Right. But if you ask me where the relationship is going,
my first couple dates, I'm gonna cook for you anyway.
Right.
I'm gonna cook for you, and then we can, because I like being able to, sit and talk, and I'll cook.
Sure.
And then, then I guess maybe you can take me to McDonald's.
I don't even cook, and I've tried cooking and oh boy.
You don't cook? How do you?
So anyway, so when we're talking about love, life, and relationships in a modern time, I have to put this other disclaimer out here. Will y'all stop inboxing me, please?
I'm not inboxing you.
No, I'm just saying,
girl.
in general, stop. Okay.
Who's inboxing you?
I know my profile picture is handsome. I get it.
Oh, the ladies are inboxing you.
Stop it, please.
Are they thirsty?
Right. I'm trying to educate.
They want some spoiler.
I'm trying to they don't want no spoiler. They don't even know who the fuck I am.
They want some spoiler. Ladies, spoiler is. Spoiler is a
when
good
they really
man.
find out what's up in here, they
Right.
be like, that motherfucker's crazy.
Spoiler is some good people.
They be like, he is nuts.
I will vouch for the spoiler. I'm gonna be at your wedding. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna help her get dressed.
All 12 of them?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get back on track.
I told you this thing go off the rails.
Let's go. Let's get back on track.
All 12 of them?
Let's get back on track.
We're all living in Utah?
Wow. I had to take a Okay.
What I do is in unison.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
No judgment.
Right.
No judgment from
So,
over here. None.
I told you there's a mind of a lunatic in here.
Yeah, clearly.
So at the end of the day, my thing is, when you have the modern time, right, you have to have a modern time type thinking. the old connotations that we grew up with are not there. Now, for those people that it is there and you found that thing, more power
More
to
power
you.
to you.
I rock it. More power to you. You know? But for the majority of people, right, social media has taken over our lives. And we don't want to admit that.
It absolutely has.
Right. So when you have a modern connotation like that of communication, right, we're not using it for our good because we have an old mindset. When really we should be bringing ourselves forward and understanding that social media has changed the face of how we date, how we communicate, how we see the world, how we even go about our day to day. And if you don't think so, right, how many of y'all check into here, check into there, check into this? I'm here, I'm doing this. So like that commercial, that travel commercial, the girl is by the pool and she's taking these pictures, and then the other ladies are there with their kids and with the travel dude, and it's like, how could she get to do that? And dude said, condoms. That fucking fucked me up. That fucked me up. That fucked me up. And he was like, condoms.
Right. Okay.
So to say that social media doesn't play a role in our day-to-day lives, you're fooling yourself. So there's no way you can have a old connotation to love, life, and relationships without taking into consideration of how this social media thing has changed the face of dating.
Absolutely. But when you're talking about social media, you also, as an adult, because this is a grown conversation, you also have to have a level of maturity. And, you know, if, depending on what you're looking for, in your situation, in your life, like, you need to realize there's always going to be that bait out there. There's always going to be something that is going to try and draw you in. And are you mature enough? Like, are you going to be that person that's chasing after it? If you are, then you don't need to be trying to talk about marriage and being in, or not even necessarily marriage, but talking about being in a relationship. You need to be that person that has, 12 things going on, or whatever the case may be. Like, because again, with, as you said, with social media, yeah, it's changed things, but do you have the maturity to deal with that? You mentioned people being in your inbox. Again, are you mature enough to be like, no, I'm not, that's not what I'm interested in, that's not what I'm about? Or are you that person that's gonna be, responding to that and seeking after that? Because that's not gonna change once you are in a relationship or married. Like, it's also about being mature.
Well, and it's about being mature, and you have to be mature because now, unlike the young folks, right, they grew up with social media.
They're used to that, right?
They're used to it from a young age. We got dropped into social media.
Right.
And computers. We got literally, here you go.
I feel like you dating yourself because you way older than me.
Right.
I'm a lot younger than you are.
I got dropped into all of this.
Okay.
And so now I'm trying to navigate this thing.
Right.
So the mere fact that I even do anything on social media, especially video and YouTube and things of that nature, wow. Because I know people in my demographic that's like, wow, you do all that? Why? Because we got dropped into this thing. We didn't.
You have
grow
to be
up
able to
with it.
keep up.
Yeah, you have to stay current, especially if you got kids. You want to know what they're on.
What's the right? Exactly.
I'm always so even with music. Even though I have my genre of music, right, I'm always tapping my great nephews and my great nieces. What are y'all listening to? You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm going to listen to it, but I want to stay current on what they're listening to. What's hot on the streets for them? You know. Just so I know what's going on. So why? So I can conversate with them. Man, how'd you like that new joint? What's that? Oh, they like, oh, you listen to that, this, that. No, I don't listen to that bullshit. I'm just trying to communicate with
Right.
you.
I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Right. I'm trying to see where you are. On a day-to-day, I'm going back to my genre of the thing. But I let them have their time.
Right.
So, again, this whole social media thing in love, life, and relationships and dating has taken on a whole nother thing. We got dropped into this thing.
True.
Right? So when you're talking about the maturity to be able to understand that, if I already had a base of dudes that ain't mature just on a regular, and
Right.
now they
You're
get dropped
adding
in
in
this
social
social media
media.
thing,
Right. Absolutely.
it's all fucked up.
Right. So for me personally, I can't do yes, I have a Facebook page. I do not have Instagram. Part of that is time. I don't have time to be on social media on a regular basis on Facebook. But also because to me, that's not what I use it for. It is for, kind of keeping up with friends, seeing what they're, right.
And it's good for that. It's great for that.
Seeing what they're,
you can't always be in Houston.
exactly.
Seeing
Seeing what's going on with them. But I don't, I can't say that I would use that as my form of,
Well,
dating.
after today, these motherfuckers going to be searching, Miss Jane.
You will not find me, friend.
She's somewhere on that fucking. I'm going to find her.
Well, shoot, they might, because you're going to be tagging me and stuff. So.
I'm not going to. That's one thing I don't do. I don't tag people. I hate when people tag me. Right? I get 1,000 tags in every comment that come down.
Well, I'm going to be tagging you. Just met with the spoiler.
I'll be like,
just talk with the spoiler.
Remove
Check
that
us
tag.
out.
That's fucking spam. I do that all the time. No, remove that tag. No, I don't tag people. It is what it is.
But I do agree that social media has made it a lot harder to navigate and to date. But I also, again, I go back to maturity and what is it that you really want? If you want to, fuck around, then go ahead, fuck around.
Right.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
But, just be real about things and don't present yourself. Don't
catfish.
Right.
Don't catfish. That's trash. And here's another one. For you ladies out there, right? On your Facebook profiles and Instagrams and shit, stop these crazy, ugly looking ass pictures. You're not gonna attract nobody with these trash ass pictures. I go on some of these, I click, I'm like, the bad hair day, or we didn't get our makeup together. What? Stop it. Stop. I get it.
I'm gonna let you say that because I don't wanna bash my fellow.
That's
women.
just something
I
been
don't wanna
bugging
bash
me.
my female.
That's been bugging me. I'm just like,
if you love your eyelashes, wear your eyelashes.
I ain't even talking. I'm just like,
whatever it is you enjoy. You do you, ladies.
I'm just like, no.
Okay.
What? No.
Okay.
Don't do it. Stop. Put your best foot forward.
But that's your opinion of what their best foot. Like maybe that was their best foot forward. If it's their profile picture, that may very well be their best foot.
You see some of the
maybe
shit
you
I
need
see,
to scroll on to the next page. Or keep clicking.
Yeah, keep clicking. Right.
Until you find
I'm being very
it's
lighthearted.
Absolutely.
Right. Don't take me. That don't mean you inbox me though. But so
they gonna be inboxing.
That's my thing.
He is good people, friends.
I think social media has really changed the face of everything in that we're stuck in an old connotation, and therefore we're meeting one crash after another. Versus really addressing the issues that we have.
But I also think when you say one crash after another, I also think people are lazy when it comes to, some people are lazy when it comes to being in a traditional marriage. Like for those that say, okay, this is what I want. I do want a traditional marriage. Some people are lazy and don't want to put in that work. It does take a lot of work and effort to be in a so-called traditional relationship. Like that's important to note too, because some people, there's a bump in the road and they want to get divorced. There's another bump in the road and they're signing their divorce. Like it does take to be with the same person for a significant period of time. That takes effort. That takes work.
Okay.
There's gonna be stuff that you're dealing with, and you can't just call it quits right off the bat.
So now, that does lead into part of the video I'm going to do about the love triangle.
Tell me about the love triangle, because you kind of touched base.
I'm going to briefly talk about it without giving too much of it away. The love triangle talks about being in love, loving unconditionally, and loving with conditions.
Okay.
That's the love triangle. And being
in love.
Okay.
Loving unconditionally and loving with conditions. Okay.
Right? And we all move within this triangle, and we're there at different stages in life. And so you move through this thing, right? Part of it is when you're being in love. That's part of the whole warm, fuzzy feeling thing.
Okay.
Right? And you're doing all this stuff. And you tend to overlook a lot of things. Right? Why? Because you're in love. Your nose is wide open and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. The feeling of being in love is so great. Right? I admit that myself. It's a great fucking feeling. You can box Muhammad Ali today. Right? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Everybody should experience that.
And then what happens?
That, right? And you're going to experience that more than once in life. Right? This is where the fantasy starts to set in that you're only going to experience this that one time. No, you're going to experience that multiple times in your life. And you may be married and experience it again.
Okay. So that's what you're talking about, loving
That's being in love. That's being in love.
Okay.
Right? Warm, fuzzy feelings. So now when you get to the top of the pyramid of loving unconditionally, the misnomer is that just because you love unconditionally doesn't mean that you stay in a bad situation. Right? I still love you. But right now, our situation is so jacked up, we just can't be together. It's just not conducive. Neither one of us are happy, and we're not working towards a common goal. But I still love you. There's nothing wrong with that. So unconditional love does not mean that you stay in a bad situation. Unconditional love means that I'm not trying to beat you up.
Okay, and what's loving with conditions?
So when you're loving with conditions, you always have a set of standards that, again, you said yourself, got a set of standards, this, that, and the other. And there's a deal breaker there. There's nothing wrong with that. Most of us operate in that realm. Most of us think we operate in this realm. The warm, fuzzy feelings you're always going to have. But most of us love with conditions, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You have to realize where you are at that time.
So it's, excuse me, it's like what I was saying before, knowing what your loving with conditions is knowing what your deal breakers are.
Sure.
Where's that line where you're like,
exactly.
You cross this line, so
and
I
then,
can't.
Then when you cross that line of knowing where your deal breakers are, right? And that deal is broken, and you still love that person and you don't want to beat them down, you're an unconditional lover. Right? I still love you, but down here we didn't make it. I get it. I'm trying to rise to the top of the thing. So at the end of the day, none of the three are wrong. You just have to know where you're flowing, and it's all about understanding where you are in the triangle. It's got nothing to do with right or wrong. So that's what that video is going to be about.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
All right. So that's what that one's about. So it becomes a thing to where, you know, I started to realize who I am as a person. And so once you start to realize who you are as a person, what you want out of relationships, what you're doing in relationships, now you understand how you flow.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
So, anything else you want to add?
Listen, I feel like we had a whole therapy session today.
Well, like I
And
said,
there's still a little drink.
Right. It's meant to. I'm trying to really help people in their relationships. No, I'm not the doctor or guru. I don't have the book out or anything like that.
But you might be able to write one.
The talk show or this, that, and the other. But again, I truly believe I have something of value to add.
Absolutely.
And that's why I do it.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't get paid to do this shit. You know, but I care about people. And as long as I care about people, I'll continue to do it. They provide the platforms to do it. Hey, let's have fun with it.
Absolutely.
You know, so with that, I'm gonna shut this one down.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
It's always
I hope
a
you have me
pleasure.
back again.
Oh, without a doubt.
I hope the people love me.
Right. You got an
wanna
open
see me
invite.
again?
Right. And do not inbox me about her status or anything, all that shit there. She's spoken for her in 20,000 different ways. Leave me the fuck alone with that.
I can't.
I'll just spoil it. This is Miss J.
Thank you, friends.
And if you like the comments and content, please be part of the conversation. If you want to come on the show and share your opinion, more than likely. With that, I'm out.
Until next time.
Next time.
That's all
It's
right.
going off
You can
the
edit
rails.
that.
It's
You
going
can
off the
edit
rails.
that.